Hello everyone, BlueStar899 here, aka Ryudo. Today we're going to be doing something different from the normal Mega Man or Pokemon related videos I submit. Today we're going to be taking a look over my real life Yu-Gi-Oh deck that I plan on taking to a tournament. This is a mixture of both meta and casual fun, and you'll see why in just a moment or two. The deck itself is based around the famous Disaster Dragon build, which is a highly powerful control-based deck. Disaster Dragons work in summoning out powerful monsters that will completely put the opponent on the defensive and never really giving up any advantage. Disaster Dragons are extremely difficult to play against if they get themselves going, and it's very easy to win the match, the duel, within even so much as 5 or so turns if you can get the right conditions. That being said, we'll now go into the deck itself. The deck is based around my favorite all-time monster, the Red Eyes Black Dragon, who I pretty much fell in love with the moment it was summoned in the second series Yu-Gi-Oh anime. Probably due to the theme that played when Rex and Joey summoned it. Not to mention he looks pretty kick-ass if you ask me. This Red Eyes card in particular is the Anniversary Art, which is a pretty neat version of the holographic rares that we've come to know. That being said, we get to the boss monster of the deck, the extremely difficult to summon Red Eyes Darkness Dragon. Red Eyes Darkness can only be summoned by attributing a Red Eyes Black Dragon on the field, making him extremely difficult to get out if you don't have Red Eyes in the graveyard, your hand, or wherever. This card is pretty much considered unplayable by most standards, but I'm determined to find a way to get this guy to work, because if you can get him out in the late game, he can easily be a 4,000 attack or more beatstick who, at that point, could probably put down a lot of things. To help this, we're going to be going with the staples of Disaster Dragons: Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, who can be summoned by removing special summoned by removing a dragon from the field. He can then special summon a dragon who can be special summoned from your hand or the graveyard, which almost all the monsters in this deck can be. In aiding this, we got Red Eyes Wyvern, who if I don't normal summon during a turn, I can remove him from the graveyard to special summon Red Eyes sorry about that. Red Eyes Black Dragon or Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, or hell, even another one of itself. Furthermore, we've got the other staples here. We've got Genesis Dragon, who can recycle dragons from your hand with dragons from your graveyard. Discard Red Eyes Wyvern to get back Red Eyes Darkness Dragon. Then we've got Magna Draco and Debris Dragon as tuners. Draco can tune with a level 4 monster to get a level 6 monster. Debris can tune with a level 2 to get a level 6. You can also tune with a level 6 to get a level 10. You can also tune with a level 3 to get a level 7, such as Black Rose Dragon. Next up, we got Primatorial Dragon, who has his built-in protection effect by discarding cards. He also reverses burn damage. Nice to have when I don't have Stardust Dragon out. Then we go on to Koaki Meru Drago, who locks light and dark special summons. However, to keep him on the field, I have to reveal a dragon in my hand. Red Eyes Darkness Dragon is perfect for this, as if I have him in my hand, chances are I can't summon him right away, so I can just reveal him over and over. We got Masked Dragon for obvious reasons. He searches out 1,500 points of attack or less dragons to the field. They can be summoned defense position too, so he's a pretty decent wall. Then we got Totem Dragon, who counts as 2 tributes towards the summon of a dragon, so Red Eyes and Red Eyes Darkness Metal can be summoned by just attributing him alone. And he can be special summoned from the graveyard if I have no monsters on my side of the field, and my opponent does. This only works though if I have only dragons in my graveyard, hence the pure dragon build. Lastly, we got Exploder Dragon, who destroys any monster that destroys it, which is great for monsters such as Blackwing Armor Master, who would be normally impossible to defeat otherwise. Then we move on to the spell and traps. For spells, we got Heavy Storm for obvious reasons. My body is a shield to protect my monsters from Lightning Vortex, Mirror Force if I don't have Prime Material out. 2 Book of Moons for obvious reasons. They disrupt the opponent, or you can use them on Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon to gain an additional use of his special summon effect. This only works though if he's already been on the field for more than a turn. Then we got Stamping Destruction for basic spell and trap removal. Burial from a Different Dimension to return remove from play cards such as Red Eyes Wyvern or any of the monsters I remove to get Darkness Metal out. Brain Control and MST for obvious reasons. And then we get to Future Fusion, which is the powerhouse magic card of the deck. If I get this card out, I can dump up to 5 dragons. I can dump 5 dragons towards the summon of a specific fusion monster in my extra deck. 5 dragons is a lot for a deck like this, as you can power up Red Eye's Darkness Dragon by 1500 points of attack, and you can, depending on the situation, turn the duel around with the right monster dumping. For example, you can dump 2 Red Eyes Wyverns, 2 Darkness Metal Dragons, and Prime Material Dragon to shut down any field monster destruction strategy your opponent's going for. Or you can dump those monsters, but Koaki Meru Dragon instead to completely shut down light and dark special summon swarm decks such as Black Wings. Next, we have goldsarcophagus to search out certain cards in the deck if I don't have them already, such as Future Fusion, Burial, or Red Eye's Darkness. Then for traps, we got 2 bottomless trap holes for obvious reasons. Then we got Burst Breath, which is a tech card for Disaster Dragons. You can use this to tribute a dragon on the field and then destroy all cards with a defense less than its attack. This is a neat card for certain situations, like if my opponent is trying to use brain control on my Koaki Meru, I can tribute it and nuke all monsters on the field with less than 1900 attack defense. You gotta be careful when using this though, as it can completely backfire against you. Knowing when to use it pretty much determines if you've got a good firm understanding of the Disaster Dragon deck. Then we got Solemn Judgment to protect me against bad top decks, such as my opponent pulling out Brain Control from nowhere. It happens. Torrential Tribute for mass monster removal and against swarm decks. I'm also going to get a Mirror Force in a couple of weeks, so I'll probably substitute it for Torrential if I can, or something else. Then we got Trap Stun for a 1-turn Royal Decree. Trap Stun can shut down certain traps that come up, such as Mirror Force. Starlight Road protects against mass monster removal and summons Stardust Dragon out. He's a good sight card, as if your opponent knows that you probably have it, they'll be really hesitant to play Heavy Storm, for instance. As for the extra deck, we've got 3 Stardust Dragons for obvious reasons. Protects my spells and traps from certain cards, such as Heavy Storm, MST. We also got our Ancient Fairy Dragon, as I'm trying to run a complete pure dragon build for Totem Dragon special effect. Not to mention 3000 defense is going to be really hard to run over through pure power. Then we got Black Rose Dragon as the field nuker, 2 Exploder Dragonwings to get rid of monsters that cannot be destroyed by battle and deal burn damage. Trident Dragon, you can potentially 1-turn kill if you synchro summon him and then destroy 2 cards you control and have a gain up to 3 attacks in 1 turn. Thus, you can deal like 9,000 damage alone. Then we got Red Demon's Dragon, who destroys defense position monsters. Great if your opponent has suddenly built up a wall of monsters and you don't have Exploder Dragonwing out. Iron Chain Dragon, he is a bridge summon. You get him out with Debris Dragon and then you use him to summon out a level 8 or a level 10 monster. Not to mention he'll mill the opponent's deck, which can really cripple non-Lightsworn decks. 2 5-headed dragons. He's a card you probably don't really expect to summon, although if you do, he's nice to have. He's mainly used though to dump 5 dragons with Future Fusion. Then I've got Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon for Cyber Dragon, as in case my opponent starts using Cyber Dragons, I can just get rid of them with Chimera Tech. If I use him though, chances are I'll be using one of my side deck cards, such as Dark Armed Dragon and White Knight Dragon and Light and Darkness. I'd swap these guys out with Red Eye's Darkness Dragon and completely change how the deck works. Then we got Flintville Guard as another tuner. Dragon's Mirror to summon out 5-headed dragon if need be. Call the Haunted, another Burst Breath. Hang on. 2 Smashing Grounds for obvious reasons. A different dimension reincarnation. 2 Dust Tornado to get rid of Royal Oppression. Dimensional Prison, not sure about these ones. I might sub 1 out for Foolish Burial, and then 1 last Trap Stun. The deck itself is actually pretty fun to play, although I've noticed I get bad hands, but when it gets going, it gets pretty tough to take down. Any comments, constructive, would be appreciated. Thanks, everyone.